Raider Nation. Oh man, you could taste the football. You could taste it. I could smell it. You can hear it. The ball whistling by the defender as Brian Edwards catches a touchdown pass from Derek Carr. I mean, I'm excited. I know everybody else is excited. This Raider team is offensively looks like the real deal, and I am excited about this whole team, this whole season. And I am not here by myself. I am here with, with Sean Oahu Raider and Monster Mash Ken, and you are listening to the Cover 3 Deep Raiders podcast. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Too sweet, man. I'm pumped, man. I'm ready to get into some football. Kickoff tomorrow with the Kansas City. I won't say the word, and then the Texans.
Team from Missouri.
Yeah. But I'm excited, man. How you doing, Sean?
Man, I'm great. Just as excited to watch the Kansas City football team tomorrow and, to get that out, see our division rival. We know how great they were, but see another AFC team that we were neck and neck with last year, Houston, really would have been a difference maker had we won that one out. So it's important to keep an eye on a few things tomorrow and absolutely ecstatic for Sunday. It's Christmas this week for me.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, man. It's funny that you put it that way because I always look, I remember when I was a kid, you waited all year for Christmas morning, and now it's like kickoff. Because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get.
Still feel like a 7-year-old when it comes to the Raiders.
No question about it. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be real fun to see what happens here as the season goes on. Let's start off with some stuff real quick. Let's give props to people who are listening to us. So shout out to folks listening in Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia actually took the lead right now as far as listens go. So Atlanta, Georgia, forget the Falcons. It's all Raiders. Columbus, Ohio. Who else we got here? We got Marina, California, San Diego, obviously, Lebanon, Missouri, and a couple more. North Shores, Michigan, Spring, Texas, and I'll give you one more. Let's see. Yuba City, California, and Chesapeake, Virginia. Thank you for listening to the Cover 3D Raiders podcast. So, if the term "once a Raider, always a Raider" is a thing, does that really coincide with Lynn Bowden Jr.?
Absolutely not. He didn't take a snap, man.
Oh man! So I'm anxious to hear what you guys' thoughts. I think people lost their mind when it happened. So, but let's just cool thoughts prevail. It was a mistake. They should have done something else. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But Ken, what are your thoughts about LBJ not being here anymore?
I'm glad you brought this up first. I'm going to come in hot. So I want to ask you guys a question. Did you guys happen to see any footage besides a wheel route throughout camp? Did you see any footage of Bowden at all? I didn't see
hardly
anything.
None. Yeah,
nothing, right?
Not really.
Reports. Yeah.
So all we know is that he's very athletic guy and made some plays in college and whatnot. And then we get these reports from the Athletic, like you said, Sean, or whomever, but that's about it. I mean, who knows what this translated to? I mean, don't forget this guy got in trouble earlier in the season. And I think that, with Mayock coming out in his presser the other day and saying, it was a pure football decision, and they let him go. And you swallow your pride. It's a third-round pick. And you know what? Let's just say that he did make the team and he was a problem child or something was going on there. Mm-hmm. He was having issues. Who are they losing? Is it Rico Gafford? I don't know. I think I don't. There's that toss up there. Like, who would you rather have? Obviously you invest in it. That's what I'm most upset about is the third round pick there. But when third round pick, what was it last year? Crosby, or a couple years ago, Crosby was the one that we hit on. So we don't always hit on all these picks, and I'd rather have it done now than later because if this guy was a bust on the field, everybody's going to be gunning for Mayock even more. Mayock came out, owned it, and that was that. Gruden had a presser today, didn't say anything about it. So, Yeah, I God bless that little man there, Bowden. I hope he tears it up in Miami until we play him on the week 15, I think it is, and 16. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's not a Raider. He didn't take a snap, and I never saw him take a snap. I didn't see him make any plays. I didn't see any preseason. I didn't see anything. So he's just another name that we drafted that didn't work out like the last 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, disappointing. I was really excited about the pick, but as we talked about, Gruden does not have a history of using gadget players. He's very dialed into what his scheme does, and he's a player that really needed positional mentoring, who was who they took in the third round, a guy that played read option quarterback. He did some return stuff. He's obviously talented with the ball in space. He's played some wide receiver, some slot. It's a combination of things. I mean, they just to take a guy in with this kind of offseason and train him to be a running back, a third down back, when you already have one, Jalen Richard, who's excelled at pass protection and all these things. He's not going to beat him out. So on one end of it, yeah, they gave up. They got something for him.
Yeah.
There's a little, smoke in the air that there were some character concerns. I know he was like highly overly flashy on his Snapchat, some of his social media. And you don't want that to wear out into the room, especially a young locker room in a city like Las Vegas. So there's other things there. Again, disappointing if he ends up tearing it up. It's not going to look good. My point is and I'm sure Dwayne's going to get to it. I can already hint at what he was talking about, what we could have done in the third round, but not really just a different draft pick, which obviously could have happened, but just that we did not address the backup running back position well. I mean, last year we had Isaiah Crowell if Jacobs went down. This year, Booker. I mean, Theo Riddick's been in the house. Jalen Richard. I mean, there's nothing there that's substantial, and I had a whole offseason to do it. And in that third round, there's some other guys that went off. I'm pretty sure Dwayne's going to talk about that could have addressed that position or that position.
Yeah.
Other areas of the ball, even the defensive side of the ball. There was the first pick of the third round. There was still pass rushers that will probably be solid contributors on other rosters. So you can look at it as a little bit of a Mayock failure, a little bit of a Gruden stubbornness that he can plug and play this guy. But we moved on from it. The roster's set, and you just got to take your losses and move on. We got something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just time. I mean, listen, if it doesn't work out, you move on. I think Maurice, I think Mo Moulton, who I follow on it was a good follow on Twitter, said it best. Where like this doesn't this a failing a bad pick doesn't make you the worst GM in the world, and what happened last year doesn't make you the best GM in the world. So they cut their losses, they moved on. When I watch Zach Moss run the ball
Yes.
for Buffalo Bills, I'm gonna say, hey, that would have been a nice 1-2 combination. Not only you get a 1-2 combination for now, but it would make the career of Josh Jacobs longer. Sharing carries with another big back, and I mean, I don't know how long it's been since we've had a bruising tight back. Like I'm dying for that guy. I mean, I like Josh. I mean, I don't like Josh. I love Josh. He's right behind me. But but the thing about it is we definitely need to get really serious with that situation, because I think our offense took a total nosedive when he got hurt.
Yep.
And there's times in football where you get too cute, and there's no reason for the Raiders to get cute. We're not at that level where we can get cute. We just need to get a solid player. That's a guy who, like the Patriots or the Saints, can miss on. We couldn't miss on that guy, in my mind.
Yeah, Dwayne, I think way back when we did our picks for who the Raiders were going to pick, I think we both said Zach Moss, if I remember correct. But we were really big on that because we all knew that we needed that bruiser, and we thought, assuming that Gruden was trying to recreate his past years where he had that great 1-2 punch, even third punch, with Richard, that would have been awesome. Now, I'm hearing reports that Alec Ingold is going to have a bigger role, which I would love to see him get some big. Yeah, like he's a bruiser. He can play. He's got some hands too. He can catch. Yep. So he's one of those like Marcel Reese-ish players where I'd love to see that get more involved. Another thing too, I was thinking about, you got your first two picks in the first round that are starters, right? And then, we didn't get a second round pick. Then you jump to the third. Or am I right? We didn't have a second round pick, right?
No second round pick.
No
Yeah,
second round.
then we did Edwards was the next pick after that, right?
After Bowden, yeah, back to back. Bowden
Wait, so
Edwards.
Bowden, then Edwards,
Yes.
and then Muse, right? Or was Muse later? Anyway,
Yes, Muse was a 100, I think.
yeah. So obviously Muse is on the IR, but you're getting one of those picks that are going to be starting in the third round. With Bowden, he wasn't necessarily going to be starting, so I think it would be a more of a of experiment, and
Yep.
I don't foresee him ever starting. So I'm just trying to justify it. Ultimately, we missed on the pick where they
fine.
could have brought a bigger back end, and that's what upsets me.
Yeah.
So,
And
but
also, I pretty much could guarantee, I might be wrong, I don't think any other NFL team was going to take him in the third round. So that's what irritates me. He's a
that's a
Denard
great point.
Robinson. That's what I said. He's a
Great
get.
point.
Yeah.
Gruden came in, who was one of the first players from the 2017 offense that I thought he would retain. Someone who scored on special teams, wide receiver, and running back was Cordarrelle Patterson. And
Yeah.
Gruden packed his bags. He packed Crabtree's bags, and he brought in Jordy Nelson and Martavis Bryant in a trade. And those guys didn't work out either. So it's a little hot and cold when you look at the history of trying this rebuild. There's going to be misses, and there's going to be good connections that we've made, obviously. But at this point, the season starts in 4 days. You can't be sobbing about a weapon role player on offense. I mean,
Exactly.
we
He's
got
only going to get
and-
like a couple of like 4 or 5 touches a game.
4 or
if
5
that.
touches a game,
That's what I'm saying,
maybe
yeah.
a nice returner role or something like that. But the attitude, everything, it happens, man. It happens. It's better doing that and freeing up a roster space and admitting you moved on, going out and getting something from Miami. I mean, anything rather than just having to waive the guy. So, it's not good news, but you have to, at least you cut your losses early and move on.
Yeah, and I think they broke it down where we pretty much traded for McMillan and swap picks
Yeah.
or whatever. So it kind of works out, I guess, because McMillan's going to be a starter. So
Yeah.
it's proven talent there, and that makes it kind of okay, I guess.
Yeah. Cover 3D Raiders podcast. You can catch us on Twitter at cover the number 3 deep on Twitter and Instagram. Demarius Randall versus Eric Harris turned out to be a win for Eric Harris. Was this a battle of blue chip versus blue collar, and then the blue collar went out? Can you have too many blue collar guys on your team and not enough guys who with that exceptional athletic ability, Sean?
Yeah, I don't know. That one was a shocker probably for a lot of people, but we didn't get this in depth. We couldn't read the reports of what's going on. We didn't see a preseason this year, but he significantly was not basically doing anything in camp. He had a stretch of 10 days where he was
Nothing.
not taking any snaps. So he wasn't picking it up. We know Eric Harris has a high IQ. He has leadership skills.
High motor.
Overachiever. I mean, you're talking about undrafted free agent guy. He played in the CFL, came back in the league. I mean, he's had to fight for everything he got. So I get that. There's traits there you want to buy into. Again, though, I think you can't address everything in one offseason. You can try, but we're just not there yet as a team where we go to an offseason and it's like, hey, we need to focus on 3 positions. No, we were a team in this offseason that needed like 10 starters almost, if you really
Right,
think about it.
right.
Like, we needed people to cement, to grow together here. We can't just keep interchanging players. So I'm glad Harris is back. I'm not like super excited he's the every down, full down starter. They're gonna have a rotation back there with Heath. They might be get creative. I don't know. Everyone wants to throw around this Joyner stuff, but it seems like maybe not. But that's a position next offseason I could see us going first round and going out and getting one of the better free safeties in the draft. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much more to add. I mean, I liked Eric Harris last season. He made some really great plays for us, and he could have had a couple more interceptions in there if they didn't just slip right through his hands. But he's a playmaker. He's a ball hawk. If you look at it, he's one of the seniors in that back in the back. So that's kind of crazy to
basically
think
is, yeah.
about. Yeah.
He's 30 years old and he is the senior in that group.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts, but he's earned it. They gave him the contract because he earned it, and they're not paying him a ton of money.
No.
But I agree. I think it's going to be a rookie or a free agent. And I know there's rumors going around out there about a certain safety that's sitting at home, and they cleared up about $10 million in cap space. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I'm not sure why somebody like Corey Littleton would just out of nowhere restructure his deal before even taking a snap with the Raiders. So it does make me think that there's something that's gonna like something that's possible that could happen, but we'll have to see. I have no idea. I mean I know Clowney's gone and everybody else is gone. So the one guy who's sitting home who could be a difference maker and be that safety who flies around for us is Thomas, and I would love to see the Raiders pull the trigger on that move.
I would
Yeah.
too. I think, like I said, we're still missing that star player on
That
on
one
on
piece.
defense. Yeah, and you know, if Corey Littleton, who is essentially going to be, Kotowski is wearing the captain, but Littleton was brought in to be a leader on this team, and you go up to your leader of the defense, and hey, listen, we need you to take a pay cut. We're going to take this money though, and we're going to make the defense better. I would be like, yeah, okay, I can, we could figure that out. You bring it in, something to help me out. Another captain in the back. Yeah, bring it in. So, I do think that on the contrary though, with the Len Bowden thing and the character issues, we can't forget all the character issues that do come with Earl Thomas. I mean, he's got issues there. Obviously, he's having orgies with his brother, which I want nothing to ever do with my brother. I can
Yeah.
imagine that. But I'm just saying, like, there are character issues there. So maybe this would be a pure John Gruden thing, I think.
Yeah.
Mayock is probably saying no, and Gruden's like, nah, I got
don't
to pull rank.
I mean, I know the player and the talent, uber talent he is.
Yeah.
Be the immediate, superstar player that we have that hasn't established, reputation in this league at playing at an all-star perennial level. But it makes no sense 4 days before the first game to
I
bring
agree.
someone in a city like Las Vegas if you have any character concerns. And a team that's young, you want guys to see how to do it the right way. Guess what? Eric Harris is not Earl Thomas, but you know what? He's going to teach these young guys how to get set, how to make their reads pre-snap, how to change in and out of schemes and things. And that's what the players need. They need to develop. Like I said, we can't just have an every down starter in one off season. So in the intermittent time, Eric Harris might be a little bit of a blessing there. Looks like Abram is a high IQ guy, absolute leadership thumper, and maybe that duo between them with the better front seven, with the better secondary overall, a
Yeah.
guy like Eric Harris isn't going to stand out like a sore thumb like he did at times last year a little bit. I thought he tackled well, pretty solid tackler, but at times he's beaten coverage pretty handedly, and tough assignments though, bearing what was around him last year. This year, they may be able to mend some of his weaknesses and allow him just to be a leader on the back end.
Yeah, no Tahir Whitehead covering tight ends for the Raiders.
Right. Well, we'll see him soon. But yeah, no to hear Whitehead. I mean, we were just a complete firestorm.
Can
I
we
mean,
just can we just have Rashard and Jacobs out of the backfield every play at Tahir Whitehead every single play?
Yeah.
or find if they ever dare. I don't think it was ever dare go into like strict man concepts, and you can tell that he's got coverage on Waller, Ingold. You just
Oh,
pick on
yeah,
him all
you gotta
day.
go. You gotta go. One last note on Thomas, because I know people DM me about Thomas coming to the Raiders. You screw up playing for Carroll in Seattle. You screw up playing for Harbaugh in Baltimore. You're not gonna find two more player-friendly places to play football than Seattle and Baltimore. Like people will take pay cuts to go play for those teams.
Yeah.
I would say maybe next year, go out there and go out there and get a free safety. The running back room, Booker, Jacobs, and Rashard of note. I want to give Booker a chance. I mean, like he's gonna get one. So behind his offensive line, hopefully he's able to reinvigorate his career. This is gonna be his last opportunity to do so. But Jacobs, I do think that I'm not sure what is Devontae Freeman like.
That's another free agent. That's
What
out
is
there.
going?
Yeah.
Why is no? Is he? I mean, I think he came off the money thing, Ken. But what is going on with him? Because I would love. I mean, like I don't see why he couldn't be able to come in and take 5 or 10, 5 or 6, 7 snaps in a Raider game.
Yeah, I mentioned this on my other show on in the ECN is there's a free agent still sitting out there too, and that's Devontae Freeman. Why not? He's almost had a full season of rest.
Playing the Super Bowl.
Played in the Super Bowl. You see all what happened with Marshawn Lynch when he took a break. He came back and he looked like he was fresh as as day one of starting. So I don't get it. I feel a lot more confident with Devontae Freeman behind Jacobs. And that's a quality player, and I'm sure that money's come down. Like he's probably wanting to play, but maybe there's something else going on there. I don't know. I mentioned Booker early in the season when you guys were down on him. I said I liked him. If he can come out like he did, he had a decent rookie season with the Broncos. He made some plays, but if he can do that again, I mean, he's had a lot of rest too. And he's playing with a lot better offensive line and a better, I think, offensive minded coach in Gruden. So, yeah, I think it's going to be Booker. He's just got to make the plays, and I'd love to see Freeman as a Raider. That'd be awesome.
The holes will be there for Booker, Sean.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was a tough back in college. Like I remember liking him coming out of Utah, and like everything that he put on film. Tough player, and like Ken said, he did some good things early on, and then he was just a whisper. I mean, he didn't even get snaps.
You know what it was? It was because I had him on fantasy, and I
isn't that how it always works?
Yeah,
but
really
yeah,
is.
maybe he does have an underdog role, but Gruden loves his backs. I mean, he had so many great groups when he was with us in his first stint. It's kind of surprising to see like him. I mean, we've had Marshawn Lynch, which he took back, who was already in house. We had Doug Martin, he tried to roll out there. I mean, we just really, thank goodness for Josh Jacobs, but where's that bruiser back? This is Gruden. Has he really changed? He's really not stuck in 1990 anymore.
It'd be 5 wide the whole day on Sunday.
And that's fine too.
That's okay too, man.
That's the modern day NFL. And if
Yeah.
Ingold can do things that Isaiah Crowell type mold could do and also put his hand in the dirt and be a lead blocker, then guess what? Ingold, use him for more snaps. That's fine. That's fine too. I mean, we have all this talent outside. It makes little sense to play jumbo football too much. I mean, you have to let, Carr in the offense open it up and throw the damn football down the field. That's why they drafted those players.
Yeah, no question about it. Mariota, and this is the last one before we go to the Carolina Panther game. I just feel like, how they have that saying, "Blank or get off the pot." Like that's what I feel like with the situation here. So like nobody you brought in a COVID off season was gonna push Carr. Like it just wasn't that wasn't going to happen. So in my opinion, what you do is you don't throw away all this money to Mariota because Mariota's not pushing anybody right now. He is a shell of himself. He was a player who had some promise. I wasn't a fan of him, but I realized that he did have some ability, and it just maybe he wasn't as big as Cam Newton, so he couldn't take all the hits. That guy like Cam Newton takes. But I mean, when you're trying to be a lead blocker on reverses, your toughness that's in you, that he has, just running and not sliding sometimes. I mean, it took his toll, and he has a myriad of injuries. They have a lot of different injuries, and I think this is their biggest. Forget about the draft and Lynn Bowden Jr. You're tying up a tremendous amount of money that could have went to somewhere else to help this Raider football team in a backup quarterback who is now hurt and is damaged goods for the entire rest of the year, I think.
And you know what's crazy about that is like I thought of it, and I'm not the biggest fan either, but I thought like, hey, Cam's still sitting out there. Jameis Winston. You guys realize that both those players are making significantly less money than Mariota, and Mariota's on partial IR to start the year.
A lot less money.
Well,
Cam's
Cam
1.1.
Yeah, Cam Newton.
Mariota's 7.5 mil. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
All right, Jameis, I believe, is got demoted to third string in his respective team. I forgot who he's with right now.
Is he with the Saints? Is he?
Saints, man. We could.
Yeah,
see him
so he
you never
lost
know.
out to the gadget player quarterback behind
Taysom
Brew.
Hill. They already
Hill,
said
right.
is the 2, but he's
He's
He
not.
was the
I
two
mean,
last year, and
yeah.
Teddy took the
And-
starters.
Yeah.
So
Let me watch him actually take real snaps
Yeah.
in our game.
Yeah.
I would have much rather seen Cam Newton's a starter quarterback. Bottom line, like you put him on any team, he's. I don't like Cam Newton personally. Like I think that, but he can play. Not so much the last couple seasons, but when he's healthy, he can play. And I just don't see if the Raiders did bring him in, there's no way that he's sitting behind Carr. There's just no way. I just
We
don't
don't
see it
know.
happen.
I mean, I think it'd be closer battle. It'd be like one of those things, a shorter leash. But yeah, I agree. But Carr would start.
Why would he go? Why would
I
Cam
think-
Newton go
yeah,
to? I just don't think he'd go to a team where he didn't think he could win out
I
the starting.
think
He
that
went to the
both
Patriots knowing he was
guys-
going to get the starting job.
Yeah,
I think
you're right.
both. I think both guys would have took snaps. I think when you have Cam Newton, you have to. I mean, I think Gruden would have been like, "Hey, you know what? We're in
Red
the
zone.
10-yard line.
He
Quarterback
just
power.
dunks on people.
Yeah, quarterback power or behind that big offensive line. Hey, run right. See, you see number 77, run right behind him.
Yeah, no
Good luck. Yeah, good luck. So,
Well, then why would he not do that with Mariota? Then I mean, obviously
maybe
Mariota's
that.
hurt.
I think
but-
that could have been the plan.
It could have been a little bit of the plan, and
plan.
that's why it was incentivized. Is because they
Yeah.
knew they probably told him, "Hey, Carr's our guy, but we see you as someone that were stunk in goal to goal last
Yeah.
year. We
Yeah.
stunk
Exactly.
in the red zone.
Creative.
Our goal is to get you healthy and use you, okay, and develop you back to being healthy. But you're not going to come in as a starter, but you're going to
Yeah.
help this football team." If you need to be the starter, bearing in, then you will be. So, but it just, I mean, just seeing a guy, it's hard to see because you're like, it could have been a semi-exciting thing to be like, this
Yeah.
backup quarterback is so critical.
It is, and
You
I,
need
truth
someone
be
to win
told,
3 games or go 2-1 when Carr's out 3 games. You need something. So I mean, now we're
I would
looking
have
at
much
Peterman.
rather them gone after Winston. Just to say that out loud, like
Yeah.
I would have much rather had Winston as a backup than Mariota.
Sprayed a ball, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that kind of does change Gruden's game plan a little bit because that guy's got an arm and that guy can throw and you know he reminded me like as a poor man's Brett Favre because Brett Favre would let it rip and he didn't care if it was interception. He threw a lot of interceptions, but he'd still make those plays when they counted, man. And I'm not saying Jameis Winston did that because he had a lot of luck. I watched some of those Bucs games; they had a lot of luck, and that defense was no slouch, so they kept him in some of those games. But I liked Winston as he matured, you know, not so much in the beginning of his career, but, you know, last season he didn't
Yeah.
do too bad.
Yeah, I mean, they were 3rd in the NFL in offense. A lot of that statistical stuff's blown out of proportion. And he got eye surgery in the offseason, right? Let's not
It
forget.
took him 5 years to get eye surgery.
Quentin Winston. I mean, those are like memes for how
never heard
long? And then now he's like, you know, so there's something there. But, you know, I think it's hard. They were set. I mean, he was in Sacramento before free agency started. They wanted him. So that's what they got. That heat, that fire goes on Mayock and Gruden. And
Yeah,
look, now you're
100%.
dipping back out, and Kaiser's in there taking snaps. Might have to
Yeah.
just as a backup plan. And you got
Peterman.
You just
Peterman. Oh.
you don't want to see. You're talking about Peterman that had one of the worst in the history of football. The worst half of football. He threw 5 interceptions in a half of football. So it's not looking good. We got to protect Carr early on. We have some tough defenses slated on the schedule after week 1. Playoff teams had playoff defenses. So
That
if
O
an
line's
inju-
got to stay healthy and they
I
got to
wish-
keep him upright.
if an
man.
injury
Yeah.
happened early in the season, we'd
That's
we'd
toast.
probably lose 3-4
Yeah.
games in a row before. I mean, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Because Peterman.
I really wish I could sit down and have a scotch with Coach Gruden,
double.
double scotch with Coach Gruden and say, Coach, listen, I know you know more football than me. You know what I'm saying? But brother, please tell me what you see in Peterman. Please break it down for me. Break it down. And we're gonna
Bruce Gradkowski, baby, is what he reminds him of.
Oh,
Who he drafted in Tampa.
Bruce Almighty. The Panthers. Let's break that game down. Then let's start on the Panther side of the ball. You know, you have the Joe Brady connection with Teddy Bridgewater. They worked together in New Orleans. He, of course, was the offensive coordinator for Joe Burrow. A lot of the same right route combinations. Getting the ball to the tight ends. Doing all kind of wheel routes and everything like that. Quick slants, all that stuff like that to get the ball out of the quarterback's hand. You saw that a lot with Bridgewater last year. You're going to see it in this game here. The one thing I would say about the Panthers, I'll let you guys go on it, is the wide receiver core is not like he's throwing to.
Michael
You
Thomas.
no, 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 no. It's like he's not throwing to like Marcel Aitman. Like he's
Oh,
throwing.
right.
He does have people
Yeah.
like DJ Moore
Oh
can
yeah.
play, Robbie Anderson can play
Fly.
and fly. So like the Raiders secondary will be tested, and they really need to get that pass rush going in this first game.
Yeah, it's tough. It's going to be critical because we have a young secondary, we have a young defense, we have new heads, new minds trying to get set. Bridgewater's not going to wow you in any way. He never has for me. But fundamentally, I mean, you can give him a game plan and he can beat you. So I mean,
Yep.
when you have a guy like Robbie Anderson who has not rug speed, but I mean, he's a quick twitch guy. He's small, agile. If you miss a tackle on him, he's going to make you pay. DJ Moore, a very, very fluid route runner out of Maryland. He's really established himself last year. Guy to keep an eye on. Ian Thomas is a solid tight end. He presents something. And let's not forget, Christian McCaffrey is going to touch the ball 28 times. I mean, he out the backfield.
No
in
matter
between the
what.
tackles. Curtis Samuel. A lot of people don't talk about that guy. He can line up in the slot in the backfield. He does some sneaky things. So Bridgewater's got some stuff to try to showcase with those players. But it's you have to remember. So DJ Moore, sophomore, right? And then you're looking at Bridgewater, first time, as a Panther. I know he's got some familiarity with the offense. Robbie Anderson, first. I mean, like, you're just looking at guys that have to figure it out just as much as we do. Maybe a little bit more veteranship there, but interesting matchup to look at for our young corners.
Yeah, you bring up Robbie Anderson. I mean, he lit up the Raiders. I think it was like 90-something yards and a touchdown last season. Granted that, it was a sluggish game, and
yeah.
he had like a one. I think he averaged like 25 yards a game or something like that. But I'm sorry, for that game he had about 25 yards per catch. So I'm looking at, you brought up a good point about the quick slants, and it's a lot of intermediate passes. I'm looking at the linebackers right now, and they've got to make sure that they're calling the right plays, the right coverages, switching it up a little bit, and then keeping your eye or a spy on McCaffrey, however you play that, because he's going to get 30 to 40% of the plays called, his number called on these plays. So the offense flows through him, I'd imagine. Obviously, Matt Rule, we don't know what kind of offense he's going to install, if he's bringing it straight from, college or whatever. We don't know. But on the opposite end, the Raiders are nobody knows what Ruggs is going to do, how the Raiders are going to use it. No one's going to know what capacity we're going to be using Edwards and then even look at Witten, Moreau, and Waller. In the scenes there, there's rules he's got to come prepared as well, and you're going up against a team that has had its head coach, the offensive line, and the quarterback in place the last 3 seasons for the most part. So I think the Raiders do come prepared. It's going to be an offensive slug out. I don't imagine the defense doing a lot. Brian Burns is a beast. He's going to come off that edge hot,
Yeah.
and it's going to be up to Colton Miller and or what's his face,
Trent Brown.
Trent Brown on the opposite end there to keep Carr upright. So yeah, I think that it's going to be offensive shootout. I want to see. We spoke about this kind of offline the other day. I want to see a high-scoring game, but I want to see the Raiders come out and win by at least 2 touchdowns comfortably. I want to see this, and I think they need it. I think the Raider Nation deserves this, and everybody is salivating. We need a win. We need Gruden to come out and prove that he can beat a team that on paper we are superior to, in my opinion. And we have the tools to do it. Carr, thank you, Josh DeBow, for pissing Carr off today and doing your stupid comments, because Carr's going to come back in like he did last season with lasers in his eyes, and he's going to prove people wrong. and we can get into. I wore my Derek. I was going to wear my a Renfro jersey today, but I wore my Derek Carr jersey today because you know what? I'm on the DC train, man. I'm taking that car to work.
Let's hope. I mean, yeah, it was good to see, like, because I kind of crave that when I watch him. I watch him 3rd and 8, unsnap his chin strap and jog off. I don't see, like, sometimes I want to see, you're pissed, you're upset. And I know some players play more level-minded, but I was, honestly, as much of a critic I am, I was kind of happy to see that. He's like, F you. Like, I don't need to listen to you.
He's focused, man. He
Because
wants
the
to
guy-
get out there and
because the-
play.
Because the
But
guy
he needs to apply that on the field, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
it's
I
good
I
to do it
agree,
now.
and I think that's what Raider Nation wants. I think everybody
Yeah.
is on that Carr. Like either you like Carr or you're a Carr supporter. It's because you heard Kenny Stapler say it on his show. Like it's time for Carr to ball out and show his balls out there, and to throw that dangerous pass in a critical moment. Don't float that shit. Gun it in there. Get in somebody's face. And one thing that I do like is, Carr is a team captain. He's got 2 young wide receivers that he's going to be playing with if he sticks with the team for the next 4 years for sure to play out the rookie contracts. He's got a second-year starter in Jacobs in the back. He's got the offensive there. I know it's the term. It's time to. There's no excuses. Whatever. It's been beaten to a pulp here, but it's true though. Like you have the opportunity here to take control of this team, to be the leader that half of the Raider Nation knows that you can be, and prove everybody wrong. Prove all those guys, the talking heads in media, prove them wrong, and don't just do it one game out the gate. You need to do this every single game. And you know what? You go in there. We didn't have preseason. You treat this Carolina game like a preseason game, and then you have your big matchup against the New Orleans Saints, and then right after that, the Patriots. Those are the 2 games where it's going to count, man. You need to go at least 3 and 4 coming out the gates.
Yeah, so I mean, like for me, like with the whole thing with Josh, whatever his name is,
Josh DeBow, or
like you're never like the journalist. I mean, he's not really a journalist, but like the reporter is. Oh, unless you win the Super Bowl, he's always going to win the battle, and he's always going to outlast you because his job is more secure than yours. So he'll be writing for the AP when, when Sean's son is the quarterback of the Raiders. I mean, just the way
it's a kicker. It's a kicker.
It's the way it is. I'm not. It's just the way it is. So I mean, to me, like the laser focus that I knew, like last year going into the Denver game, that his laser focus was when I think Big Taper said he didn't talk to any media. I knew that they were going to win that game and win that game pretty comfortably. So, listen, I know how he can play. He just needs to go out there and do it. I mean, and I really feel like he will do that. I think the weapons around him. I think not only we talk about Edwards, talk about Ruggs. I think if you look at the team, they're gonna early on. It's gonna be a lot of. Until Ruggs and Edwards get acclimated, you're going to see a lot of Waller. You're going to see a lot of it's a lot of Jacobs. You're going to see a lot of Hunter Renfro. Like those pieces right there are going to be huge. But you can't ignore because the talent. You can't ignore Edwards. You can't ignore Ruggs because if you do, it's going to be a touchdown. It's going to be a 60-yard touchdown. So just having those guys on the field just helps everybody else. Just get open and do what they got to do.
I'm going to say something really stupid, but it kind of makes a little bit of sense here. So I bought Madden, and I'm playing Madden, and I play the franchise mode. And I know this has nothing to do with real football, but I my eyes opened up to something. Ruggs is so damn fast, right? And he's almost double teamed to triple teamed when he's downfield. And the wide open in the middle. Every time I play, Waller or Moreau is open. So I'm hoping that something like that is going to happen where these open, Carr is seeing not just his number one target, but he's looking at the 2 and 3 and 4th option there, whether it's Renfro, Waller, or Jacobs underneath. I'd love to see that. And I think that's kind of why they did bring Ruggs in is to stretch that field because – even if he does go that option and he does burn his guy and he gets a step on him, Ruggs is going to make that play. Even if it's behind the line and they do some kind of hitch route, Ruggs is going to make some yards, man.
He has great hands.
Yeah, and you scare those defenses early with his speed and like, oh crap, we got to play back. then you open up the middle of the field for guys like Renfro and Ruggs and whatnot, and you get these, you chew yards, and that's the West Coast offense. You chew the yards, and then you hit them with a big one. So I'm so anxious to see how Derek Carr handles his third year in Gruden's system,
Yeah,
with excellent weapons, by the way.
right. I mean, you think of, it was a porous performance overall, but you think of 2018 Monday Night Football opener. He had Cooper, he had Jordy Nelson, he had Martavis Bryant, who had 200 yards receiving that day. Jared Cook, right? He had like 188 yards or something. Carr loves the tight end. It's a good read for him. The intermittent passing, he's accurate at. That's fine. He can load up Waller as much as he wants early in the year. He can load up Renfro, who he's accustomed to and understands. He can do that early in the year, tag Moreau here and there. But as the season progresses, those weapons have to be used. You have to have a game where you're throwing 12 targets to Henry Ruggs. Like, you have to. You just have to have a couple games a year where you see a corner he can take advantage of, and you just have to – the targets have to be there. I'm not even saying the completion percentage has to be high. Carr's a high completion percentage guy because he's sometimes apprehensive and conservative. But now it's about, hey, trust these guys, get on a rhythm with these guys, let it rip, because we're a better team than we were. Your defense probably is going to give up like 40 points to backup quarterbacks and things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I agree, and it's going to help with confidence too at the wide receiver. These young kids, they need that confidence, man, to last, and they got to be fed. And Carr's got to do that. It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
And then you look at the they were one of the top teams at pressuring the quarterback last year. The Panthers, but a lot of those guys are gone.
Yep.
And they actually their entire draft in 2020 was defense. Was defense. So, the GM, the head coach, everybody knows that where the weaknesses of that team, and they went with young defenders, so young inexperienced defenders. So we'll see if the Raiders take advantage of that. I would, like I said, if I'm the Raiders offense, just blow them off the ball. But early on, like the longer you let a lesser team hang around in a game, you're going to lose, or they're gonna find a way to beat you. But if I'm the Raiders, I'll definitely do whatever I can to make sure that we take care of that. On offense, what are some of the keys that you want to do? What are the things you want to see? I think we went over some of that already, but give me like 3 points of contact here that you want to see the Raiders do offensively.
I want to see Jacobs with 100+ and maybe 2 touchdowns, whether that's a receiving and a rushing touchdown. I want to see Renfro with at least 5 catches, for 50+. I want to see, I'll give you 4 though, either Ruggs or Edwards got to at least have 50+ and a touchdown, and Waller's got to have a big game. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I think for me, number one, first and foremost, you have to keep an eye and mitigate Brian Burns. You're talking about, if you look at his film from last year, he's gonna be, an all-star. He's incredibly talented. He can do it. He can rush. He plays. Obviously, he doesn't stand up like Von Miller does.
Can be a game wrecker.
But complete game wrecker. He inside move, outside step, spins his hands. He's an elite pass rusher. So we have to treat that very seriously. Trent Brown, I don't have much questions unless he really was kind of hiding an injury. I don't know. Colton Miller gets beat inside. That's his weakness. His outside step is long, and people just dip and come inside, and they can squeeze in. The last thing we need week 1 is Carr taking too many hits early in a game like that. I think it'll just throw off the momentum. That's proven to be what his reputation is around the league from NFL defenders and defensive coordinators. So my number 1 key is mitigate Brian Burns. Number 2 is Darren Waller. He has to get involved. You've said it. I think he's going to have a monster game. You have Tahir Whitehead. You have Shaq Thompson. You have a core of guys in that second level, in that linebacker spots. I don't see anybody that can hang with him. Waller will probably be moved around outside at wide receiver at times if Edwards and Ruggs really aren't where they're at. And number 3 is take care of the football. Turnovers are super important. When you have a bunch of rookies and young guys, you had a shortened off season, turnovers just spell disaster. It allows a team that's not very good with Teddy Bridgewater to all of a sudden have a 10-point lead on you in the second quarter, and then you're panicking, and there's a lot more pressure. Honestly, there's no pressure on the Panthers. None. They're a complete rebuild, massive new head coach. They signed a free agent quarterback to come in and be their starter. There is no expectations outside of Christian McCaffrey being a fantasy football stud and just someone that's just like so much fun to watch. We just have to rise up and show up and score as many points as we can. Execute in the red zone, please. Please. Don't give me 21 points.
Yeah.
Real quick for me, be aggressive from the outset. I know he wants to control the ball, but I mean, I want to see him, just instead of controlling the game, just conquer it as the head coach. Like, go out there and just take it. From the first step. You mentioned the in between the 20s. In between the 20s. You're Bill Walsh. In between the 20s right now. But I need to see some points in the end zone. I think you're going to see a Waller. You're going to see Moreau, who's healthy and back now. You're going to see Brian Edwards, who maybe can play that Crabtree role in the end zone, bodying up DBs and high pointing the football like Crab did. And just spread. To me, I want to just see a game where it's just efficient, spread the ball around, get things going early, and just getting on the board early and let them chase. You don't want to be doing the chasing in that game, Ken.
Yeah, no, I agree. They got to come out and do their job, and that's a really good point about Carolina not having anything to prove because they're in rebuild mode.
Which is scary.
It is. I mean, they're us 3 years ago in a sense. They tear down their team and they're starting, I think, 10 something rookies or something crazy like that.
Right.
But there's no excuse for us to lose this game. Gruden said it this morning in his presser. Somebody asked about the time zone. Like, they've been practicing at 7 a.m. every morning to beat the Heat. So there's no excuse. And they got to be zeroed in. There's no fans. It's football. It's you versus the guy across from you right now. Do your job. Get the job done. Great takes from both of you as far as, just how to win the game because we know it, but hopefully these guys know it and get the job done.
Yeah. On the defensive side of the ball, Paulie G can't talk about I don't have nothing now. The cupboard's not bare. The cupboard isn't bare. You have some defensive linemen there. You have some guys who can rush the passer. The in-house guys. You have you can blitz a Littleton. You can you can bring in Nassib. I'm hearing about the new Arden Key. I've been hearing about the new Arden Key for ever since he's been drafted. So let's see if Rob Marinelli, he has a great defensive line coach. Like, everything's lining up here for him for this Raider defense to be really good. And I think it's time that that he shows it, Sean.
Yeah, I think it could be the absolute. We know what the offense has, so by trade of that, the defense could come out and surprise a lot of people. I think the expectations should be a little higher than they should, just because of the type of talent they have. The pass rushers, the depth. I mean, we can't complain about Cleveland and these kind of. I don't care. Just have a rotation that constantly gets pressure and clogs run holes, and I'll be happy. It is what it is. And those guys that can defend on the outside, a lot of people don't know how good Trayvon Mullen is. My Panther friend was like, "Oh, who's that? I've never heard of him." Like,
oh, you'll know after this game.
I say, DJ Moore is a tough defend. Robbie Anderson knows about. I say Mullen hung with Tyreek Hill and other players, so watch. So Arnett, just physical. He's got the little bandage wrap right on his hand, so a little bit of concern there. Hopefully he doesn't over press himself, but jam up those wide receivers, throw off those timing, and then Teddy Bridgewater is a pretty short quarterback. There's some, we're gonna have a sea of arms and people coming after him, so the pressure is on him to make some throws. Aren't really in his in his repertoire of a quarterback. He's not really a finesse passer. He's just going to make the routine and the fundamental, if that. So, just excited, man. Arden Key. And you're right, Paul Gunther. He's got so many things. It just all of a sudden but it it needs to come to fruition. He needs to
Linebackers who
manage
can
it.
run.
Or
Even
just
McMillan from Miami, who was great, who's a great run stopper. He's a good run
right.
stopper on the
And
run
you need a
downs.
run stopper. And
In this game,
one thing I saw out there, which was pretty fascinating. I wish I could credit who said it. He's a good follow, but he was breaking down that McCaffrey, he's a smaller guy. You get him in space and let him be elusive. Like he's like Barry Sanders-esque at times. But after contact, his yards after contact, we know how good Jacobs is. McCaffrey's yards after contact was like it was like 22nd in the NFL.
Oh wow.
So what does that mean? Malik Collins and these kind of big bodies we have. If you can disrupt him and not let him plant his foot and make you look silly, you can really mitigate what he can do in the run game. Now, in the pass game, it's easier to free him up one-on-one with somebody. You're gonna have to tackle, and then you're gonna have to swarm tackle because he's gonna make people miss. But as far as stopping the run game, if we can do that, I'm not worried about Teddy Bridgewater throwing for 280, 300 yards, and I don't see that. No way.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a good tune-up game for the real the challenge, the Monday night game coming up, because this is a young crew, a young core. Abram is back, and I'd love to see turnovers. I think that's the key to the game here. Win the turnover battle.
I'd put the defense on the field first.
Yeah,
And it's-
that's a great
yeah.
point. That's
Oh,
an
yeah.
excellent
I
point.
want to see the defense on the field. We want to toss on the defense on the field first, and I want to see them take the ball away.
Yeah, and
Which
Gruden
means
said
Gruden
this.
will do the opposite.
Yeah. Gruden said something really cool here. He goes, it's not illegal to score on defense. It's not illegal to score on special teams.
I didn't
So
like that.
I think that
Don't say that when you hit the ball in the red zone all the whole year.
yeah,
know.
he's it's a good point though, because we're not we need other than Eric Harris scoring the touchdown interception, but
couple pick
they
sixes.
need to win the turnover battle. I'd love to see a defensive score. That'd be freaking awesome. But yeah, I think special teams and defense need to show up. Those are keys that it's not just the offense, but this is a good tune-up game. They're going to be implementing their offensive plans. Carolina Panthers are going to be implementing their offensive plan, and the young guys on our team, they need to show up. I do expect a really big game from Corey Littleton, though. I think that this is going to
His kind of game.
his contract. This is what they brought him in for right now. Stop McCaffrey, stop, move the guys around that you need to. I know that Kotowski is wearing the dot, so I heard something that during practice they're going through every single defensive play. So it sounds like they're taking on that mentorship. So yeah, I'm looking at the linebackers this game because McCaffrey's going to eat if they let him eat.
Yeah, linebackers. Just having linebackers. Two, I know that weren't in our uniform yet, but even three with a Raekwon playing the run well. I mean, just having capable guys like you've seen Littleton's ceiling. I mean, he can make interceptions. He can guard tight end situationally. I mean, he can do it. He can blitz. He can shoestring tackle you, or he can lay the wood on you. So
Yes.
super exciting. I think one person in this game, who I think Raider fans, he's kind of getting lost in the mix, is Jonathan Abram, who I think might be one of our better defenders throughout the entirety of this season. But we didn't get to see much of him last year, right? So that's a guy in a game like this where I don't see Teddy throwing it over the top of the defense often. So that means Abram gets to sneak up and whack some people under 15 yards of the line of scrimmage, and he will. So I'm expecting to see some of that. Hopefully he can establish himself a bit, kind of like he did the Monday Night Football opener last year with Denver, showing he can come down and lay the wood. And then you get those alligator arms on those wide receivers, and that really changes things a little bit.
He still needs to earn his pick.
Yes.
He's still got to earn that first. Everybody's pointing the finger at Furl, but don't forget about Abram. He was also there too. I mean, Jacobs has solidified himself as the greatest running back that the Raiders ever had already. So I just real quick and off subject here, I just saw this interesting tweet that Hunter Renfrow is the longest tenured wide receiver for the Raiders right now. That's crazy.
That's
Not
active
actually-
that's active for the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's
because
crazy.
Aguilar
And
and
Zay
Well, Aguilar
Jones.
wasn't a Raider.
yeah, Zay Jones. Yeah, he was an on-off practice squad. Oh yeah, that's crazy.
How about, you know what? Listen, if you're going to double down on something at wide receiver, double down on speed. I mean, Zay Jones can run. Rico Gafford can run.
Aguilar
Ruggs-
can run.
Aguilar can run. At least, they do have, they have, listen, don't, you miss a tackle. This shit's going to should be some big.
You can only guard so many downfield, man. You can only
Yeah.
guard
That's
so
what I
many
was saying.
downfield.
I mean, even if Derek Brown, who looks like an earth mover, super
Oh, I
talented.
forgot about him.
Yeah, and then Brian Burns and then Kewan Short. Those three, that was the trio. I'm like, those are three solid players to worry about in the
Yeah.
front seven. But if they even start to take over, not take over the game, but if they're really kind of plugging the run holes a little bit, they're doing enough. Those quick tunnel screens out to Ruggs and Edwards.
Make it
I mean,
fly. Make it happen.
If Ruggs
Yeah.
gets a little chip block and someone can't bring him down,
He's gone.
there's no talent in that secondary that's gonna make a
No.
proper form tackle when he's got his speed full. So I could see a scoring like that early on in the game. You know, we made Jacobs gets 4 yards, 3 yards, and then boom, Ruggs, tunnels. It's just so much speed. I mean, you think of last year the plays Gruden tried to drop with Trevor Davis.
And some of them,
Fumbles,
yeah.
tackled behind line of scrimmage on reverses where he had. Guess who's getting those now? Ruggs.
Yeah.
The,
You
one,
think
the, the,
Ruggs-
the fumble in the Bears game was murder. I mean,
Oh,
that
gosh.
was the worst. You can't
It
fumble when
almost
you're going
sealed
there.
the. We would have. I mean, very.
Yeah,
high, I
seriously.
mean, that almost.
But-
Sealed. But I'm just saying.
On the flip side, the one to get the play that happened in with the Colts game. I mean, Ruggs. That's a Ruggs all the way.
Yeah. So Ruggs,
Yeah.
and then also, if not even Ruggs, Aguilar is good behind the line of
Yes,
scrimmage.
he
He was
is,
used that.
yes.
Well, you're a USC fan, and then also Rico Gafford. Hello,
He's got some wheels, man. Yeah.
You know, Gruden's got 3 plays in there for him. Like, it's something.
Yeah, he
If he's
does,
having
he does.
fun and it's the
He
third
does.
quarter. All right, Carr, I'm going to take you out after the series. Let's put this one on film for people to worry about.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
Be a
I
wheel
think.
route.
I think you look at the Hunter Renfro when he misses somebody misses a tackle, he's gone yard. But you put Ruggs in that position, hasta la pasta, don't get any on you.
Yeah, seriously. The captains for the Raiders were announced. I think I'm not sure if it's a combination of coaches and players who choose it, but I think the work ethic and everything I've heard about Malik Collins, it's almost like the legend of Malik Collins, right? But for him to be a guy who is, a team captain, I think that's a really big. For him to just come over here and just boom, and people just say, "Hey, he's a team captain." And also, Nick Kwiatkowski is also one of the new guys who is a team captain. So I'm looking forward to seeing what those guys do. And really, Collins is the guy who I'm really that first snap, I can't wait to see him get pressure up the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's been built up to be this find. It's great find, and I'm sure Marinelli brought him over, saying vouch for him, and we forego drafting or whatever another defensive tackle. I think Mo Hurst is really good too. You let go of PJ Hall. What's his face is still pretty solid there too.
Haskins.
Hankins, yeah. Hankins. Hankins
Hankins had a really good hit. He's
Yeah.
a very solid run
He
stopper. Good player.
he can shoot up the middle, but yeah, I agree. I think Collins has got a lot to live up to because not any fault of his own, because we haven't seen anything on film yet. It's because the coaches, especially John Gruden, has built it up, and I'm curious to see what happens. But the captains, I think it's what is it? It's Collins, it's Kwiatkowski, and then it's
Wilbur, Carr, Collins, Hudson, of course. He should be captain every year until he retires. Kwiatkowski, and then Harris.
and Harris, right? Harris, that's awesome, man.
yeah.
That's really cool that Harris got the C on and it looks like they're doing it at every tier, on the defense. So that's really cool to see. And I think that just shows that they brought the right guys in.
Final thoughts about the game because next time we talk, gentlemen, on the war.
Aha.
No. Let me rewind. The next time we do the podcast,
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, sir.
the Raiders, because we're going to talk like after the first play.
Oh, yeah.
So what are your thoughts about that? And final thoughts about the game, final score. How do you see it going? Ken, you can go first. What do you think about the matchup here with the Panthers? Panthers. Final thought.
I think it's going to be sloppy to start out with. I think the first couple plays are going to be really sloppy on both sides of the ball. It's going to be really interesting to see. I guess we'll see it tomorrow if you guys watch the game with no fans. But that'll be interesting, to see with the Raiders and whatnot, to see how they react to that. I think it's an advantage, though, especially on a road game like that. I see Carr coming out and playing lights out. I really do, just like he did last year against Denver. I really think he's going to come out. Gruden's going to play, call up this great first drive like he always does, and they're going to come down and they're going to score. I think it's going to be Moreau with the first score of the season. I'm putting my money on that. I'd be okay if it's Renfro, but I'd be okay anybody scores, to tell you the truth. But no, I think it's kind of Moreau's going to pick up where he left off last season, and I see the Raiders somewhere in the 30 to 35 points to 21 points, Carolina.
Yeah, I think that's fair score-wise. But
The
for me-
line is Raiders by three. By
Three. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I'm just, for me, it's, and normally you get 3 at home just for being the home team, but COVID's different. But for me, it's just establish yourself as a team, your identity.
Yeah.
It's young. You might smell blood in the water early. Maybe Carolina plays much better than we think. I know we have some fandom bias and things, but I feel we're very prepared for this matchup. So to me, establish being physical, running the football. Showcase your weapons a little bit when you get the chance to take a risk. Let people see what these guys can do down the field, because our schedule gets incredibly harder after this. You're talking like we're not going to go, oh, we win that matchup. We got that. It's not going to be like it is right now. So take advantage of this and step on a team. There's not many times Gruden has ever done that. Just step on a team. Just let the guys have fun. This has been a weird offseason. Keep scoring points and don't let up. Don't have Gruden's at all these games where they have a big lead and they come out third quarter. Okay, third quarter. Move the ball, score. Last year was pathetic. It was
good point.
We could have lost a lot more games just because of how putrid we were in the third quarter. We weren't good enough to have that happen. This year, show me you can come out after halftime, make adjustments. Like, let's just see scores in first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Show me that you can sustain an offense, sustain a playbook, and change things if you have to. And also for Gruden, another thing that really upset me last year, don't be stubborn with the challenge flags. Just don't. Listen to someone
I
else.
saw that firsthand, man. That dude was pissed off that Detroit game. He threw that out of anger, and that was bullshit. Because I could see it from my seat. Like, that was a wrong call.
And that's an emotional response.
Yes, exactly.
And a good, level-headed coach, you have to start controlling yourself. I understand he's very enthusiastic, but let's just I want to see a lot from Gruden. This is year 3 Carr, year 3 Gruden, year 7 Carr overall. Like, everything's there. Just play like a team that's taking the next step, execute, and let's just not have these embarrassing blunders. Let's just get out of that game with a win, like Dwayne said in our text group. He wants a win, just win.
Silence the haters with
My
the win.
expectations are a little high because I know it changes week to week in this league, but if you eke out against Carolina, don't come home and think the Saints are that's tough, right?
If they don't win this game, I can foresee them losing 3 in a row.
They could easily start off like 1-4 if they can't beat
exactly.
Carolina.
I can see them losing 3 in a row.
To me, I have been through many a Raider season and many a football season. So for me, what I want to see is just I look at this. I look at just a first game building a foundation for the season. So get out, go on the road. No fans. I understand, and just get the win. I see like 20. I see 28-20. I don't think the Raiders are right at the point where they're blowing somebody out. I think there's been enough plays, enough penalties, enough little things here to keep Carolina in the game. I think the Raiders can control it. They are under Gruden, notorious fast starters. They start fast out the gate. That first tier of plays works well. We just need to work on that second tier for the third quarter, and I think it'll be all be fine. I want to see just a couple, two or three, just bombs down the field, and if they're not
Yeah.
called, I want to see one time. I want to see pass interference called for the Raiders. Like I mean, like because like these guys who are trying to catch the football on the defensive side, defensive backs, if they could catch the football, they'd be playing offense. Like
Yeah.
I totally believe that. So they have no idea. They're just trying to knock it down. They're not trying to catch it. So if you get a chance of one on one with Ruggs, one on one with Bryant, with Edwards, one on one with Rico, like go. Let's just. I think once they get to, I think it won't be off the bat. But I think the minute they get a couple first downs and get the plus territory, maybe a second and 3, second and 2, you're going to see them try to go down the field. And listen, one thing I'll say about Gruden is this: they did not draft Henry Ruggs for a decoy. He's getting the football. He is definitely getting the football.
That's up to Carr too, and he better freaking see it. 100%.
He's definitely. But I would say build the foundation of this season. I've seen that it's not what you're doing right now, it's what you're doing in December. So, but stack these wins now, so when December comes, we're not like winner go home for the playoffs. Like you're like the team you're playing is winner go home.
Yeah. Great point.
Good point. Yeah. I mean, keep yourself eligible, keep yourself in the race, don't fall behind. We've seen, if you look at the stats in the NFL, you start 0-2 or you get in those situations, the
It's hard.
percentages are not in your favor. They're hard. So I think we didn't, no one knew that this game was going to look the way it does. A brand new head coach, they had an established coach that had been there, Ron Rivera, a very, solid coach. And, they had an organizational structure that was in place for a long time. I mean, and they had Cam Newton, who is the face on the Mount Rushmore of their franchise. I mean, he's right up there, with Kuechly and Greg Olson and guys like that, so Steve Smith, but I'm just, it's different. Let's just take advantage of it. So I said, just establish yourself, prove that you're a team. Let the Saints see something on film to where they see a division opponent. They know the Panthers, right? They play them twice a year, but they're going to see us and, have them look at that film and be like, whoa, we have to account for a lot of things.
Listen.
Carr hit Ruggs 5 times. Waller had 130 yards receiving. Josh Jacobs ran for 140, and he was on the bench the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's what I like to talk about right there.
So win the game the way Sean said it, and then I like this. If they can just win this game, I don't care. Like I said, 35-17, 20, 28, 24, just win the game. I like the fact that the Saints are playing a hype game in their first game. Because they're not thinking about when they come to Vegas, they're not thinking about the Raiders. They just play Tom Brady and his myriad of weapons. So I kind of like that spot for that Monday night game. So hopefully they're able to take advantage of that. Couple notes about the AFC West. Von Miller looks like he might be out for the year. That's going to be last year they lost Chubb, now they lost him, so that's going to be a loss for the Broncos. And then we know Derwin James, and Raiders fans know Derwin James very well because they wanted him instead of Colton Miller, but he's out for most of the season for the Chargers, the best defense God ever created from what I've been reading from everybody. So we'll see what happens with the Chargers there. So I did have a list here of my top 5 action movies real quick.
Oh, yeah. You didn't get, yeah, you thought you were going to get.
So real quick.
All right, let's see.
So real quick. So these are in no order. But Man on Fire. I love that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Denzel.
Denzel. Wanted. Talked about that. Bad Boys.
Nice.
Because you got sprinkled a little comedy into it. Because that shit was funny. Especially the first one. Mission Impossible, and then The Bourne Identity. That's what I got.
Ooh,
Awesome,
Bourne
man.
Identity. I like the
Awesome.
whole, there's a trilogy, or is there 4 now? But yeah, I like the Bourne Identity.
Well, once he left it, I was like, I'm not watching the next one.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a new list for you guys since we're kicking off the season. If I could do another profession, I would be a chef. I love cooking. I always come up with some great stuff, especially on Sunday football to kick off the season. I'm going to make something special. But I want to know what your guys' favorite tailgate or foods to have during a game. If you guys can give me just a couple of those ideas, you don't have to do 5. Just give me what are you guys eating on Sunday football?
So
Man,
go ahead.
Go, Dwayne. No,
Yeah, because I don't. If I go to a game, like if I go to a high school game, college game, or pro game,
Yeah.
I don't have it often. But ribs, I think the reason why ribs is so amazing because you don't have it often. Like because they take a long time to make.
Oh, I know it.
Ribs take a long time, but I do love when I see somebody walk by somebody makes a good rack of ribs. Like ribs is incredible.
Yeah. What about you, Sean?
it's funny because I like to cook. Like I'm a cooking
me too.
enthusiast, but when it comes to watching football, my wife makes fun of me. I cannot eat breakfast before the game. I cannot eat. Normally, it takes till halftime to whether I've had a few drinks and the game's not going. I can't. Like I get so nervous. I'm so dialed in. But I like having finger food. I got two young kids running around. I'm in the living. You know, I never sit down. I'm up. I'm moving. I'm on my phone. So I love
a 7 a.m. game for you.
If it's the East Coast start, 7 a.m. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I remember this.
Good, both good and bad. You know, you get your whole day after, which is great. You go straight to the beach or whatever. But so I love like the finger food. So give me chicken wings. I don't care if they're barbecue. I don't care if they're smoked. I don't care if they're spicy, garlic, fried. Love me some chicken wings. I can eat it with a drink in my beer or with a beer in a hand and my finger food. I can throw it. I love a chili cheese dog, man.
Ooh, Sean,
I know it's kind of childish.
No, I love it, man.
It's kind of, but it's like it's such a good comfort food. Like, okay, you got a quick commercial break and just like knock down that or like a bratwurst or something. Just like finger food is fun. For
I
football.
cannot. I can drink watching games. I cannot drink watching a Raider game.
That's funny.
I have never had a drink watching a Raider game.
What?
I've never.
Wow.
Hey, this year, I'm texting you at halftime. Or
I'm gonna buy my beer and I'll
if
show you what
we're
I'm
running
drinking.
away with it, I want Dwayne to have his first
Well, I will.
adult beverage.
You know what? I'll always, until the final whistle. I will never believe the game is over. I'm because like when you like if you ever played or coached, you just coach till the thing is over, till it's done. Like, I have that mentality in my head. But yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I cannot. In no way. Like, but I'll work out. I'll work out. Get all my stuff done. Get my stuff done for the day because I know that I'm gonna be on my behind the whole day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah, I don't know, because I don't want to get, because I don't want to break my big TV. Like,
I
gotta,
He's strapped down in his chair, like,
what's your biggest pet peeve in games? I think one of my biggest ones is my biggest pet peeve is the wide receiver drop. Those just are they're almost like interceptions because they just completely ruin a drive.
false starts for me, man.
Oh, yes, the false starts are bad. False starts are
Yeah,
bad.
I think as a Raider fan, hopefully, I'm surprised neither of you said this. To me, it's those yellow flags on the ground.
Yeah.
So false starts a little bit, but just defensive PI, misalignment, somebody's not set, not reporting eligible for a tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, the Raiders have been the most
boneheads,
penalized.
yeah.
We were like continually the most penalized team for so long. And when you're just waiting for the snap to go out and you don't even get the thrill of a play and you got to redial it up, the down and distance changes, the situation changes, the game. And Gruden's got his arms crossed and his little smirk on his face, and it's just he flips up his headset, and he's just. I just want to see. Let's just have a cleaner team, man.
Yeah.
Year 3.
John, if you're listening, just give me a little fast break. Give me a little fast break in this game. Give me a little in Fresno State. Give me a little 2016 fast break offense here. Come on, come on.
Yeah.
The bulldog break. The bulldog break. That should be out of halftime every third quarter.
You don't have to. He's so good in 2 minutes. In 2 minute drill, like please, just you don't gotta call every single play.
Yeah.
You don't gotta call every single play. All right, guys. Is that anything else?
Oh, just real quick, closing message, as Monster Mash Ken likes to preach to the nation. Listen, we wait 7 months to watch Raider football. You know, everybody's anticipated. We spoke about it in the beginning of the show, how we look forward to this day. We're diehard Raider junkies. We follow the news. We're refreshing our tweets every second when there's news out there. We know how much money the Raiders have. We know who's third string. We put in all this effort. You know, Sean and I and Dwayne, we put on this show where we can be sitting with our families and doing whatever, working out, whatever it is, you know. And we love the Raiders. It's like part of our lives, you know. And what I'm trying to get at is enjoy the season. There's all this stuff, all the toxicity on Twitter or whatever social media sites that you're at, all the different writers and stuff like that, and people like to bash the Raiders because we're the bad guys. We're not the good guys. We're the other guys. We're the guys that nobody likes. But you know what? We love our team. And Raider Nation, you guys love the team. So support your team. Support Derek Carr. Support whoever, John Gruden, Mayock. Put your differences aside, enjoy the ride. And it's 2020. This is the year we're going to make the playoffs. Mark it. Monster Mash Ken out.
Yeah, man. I kind of just be loud and proud, and I can't wait to run through a whole season again. It seems like most seasons they leave me so salty and bitter, but it's like I said, kid before Christmas right now. I'm already like planning my outfit. What am I gonna wear?
Oh, I got mine down. Yeah.
And like now you just said food, and I didn't even thinking getting marinate them overnight, or am I going to order them to deliver? How am I going to do this? Like,
and pics of your foods, listener. I want to see that. Tag Cover 3 Deep of your food, and I want to see
send out a tweet from the Twitter account. But
and
yeah,
drinks,
you know,
and drinks, by the way, and drinks,
and family. Like I unfortunately was supposed to I might see if I can get it through tonight, but I'm trying to like order some stuff, but you know, just like family pictures and just enjoying this, because you know each year it comes, it just goes. You know, it seems like it's a long season, but Christmas will come and we're already talking about the playoffs here or not. You know, so.
Seriously. Last thing on a serious note, these fires out here. My heart and soul go out to the people. These people going. These fires are out here raging in Northern California, Southern California, and one was started in Southern California because we had a gender reveal party and they used fireworks. Like, know your surroundings. I know we have a lot of listeners in Southern California and throughout California. It's real talk. Thousands of people are getting displaced right now because of that. So I know I don't want to be too serious, but it's just a little scary. I don't want to see smoke from my apartment.
No, that's scary.
That's pretty scary. So,
scary,
listen. Let's see, Raiders. Let's do it. I mean, that's the moment we're waiting for. September 13th can't come fast enough. Let's go. I mean, I'm amped. I'm excited. I want to see some of these draft picks. I want to see this offensive line dominate.
Yeah, let Dwayne enjoy a cocktail in the fourth quarter. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's right, man. With his pinky out.
I will post a picture with the TV in the background. Pinky out.
Pinky out.
If it's 42-10 and Nathan Peterman's getting snaps, I think you can enjoy a drink.
So that is the time where I really want to see Peterman in the game. I want to see Peterman in the game as far as that goes.
Yeah.
That's right, man.
All right. Cover 3 Deep on Instagram. Cover 3 Deep on Twitter. Please.
Facebook too. Thanks to the Facebook, man. You're getting a lot of follows out there. I appreciate it. Send your messages to us.
And I gotta send you some videos to post to Facebook as well. But yeah, YouTube is keep asking questions. I'm gonna as much as I can. I'm gonna keep putting these videos out there on YouTube. So thanks for following us there as well. We out.